we don't need roads.
Guys, I love this movie so much. Oh my God, I love this movie. You guys absolutely crushed it. So seriously, thank you for taking the time to chat with me. Mary, I'm actually going to start with you. I'm actually in awe of all the skills you had to learn as an actor to pull off this role between the fight scenes and shooting a gun and speaking Japanese fluently and even like crafting a makeshift silencer. And imagine I would imagine you don't just forget those just because a movie's over. So I'm sort of curious, what is the coolest thing that you can now do simply because you needed to learn it for this movie?
Funnily enough, I learned how to drive a stick shift for this movie.
I don't know how to do that.
To drive an old car. Somebody had to teach me how to do it. So I got to learn how to do that, which is like a very practical thing that, I haven't really done very much of it since then. So who knows if it's really stayed in there, but that was cool. And yeah, just learning how to shoot all sorts of different weapons, spending time at the gun range, which I never imagined myself to be someone who would be doing that. Not in my off time, only for the movie. But yeah, I feel really, really proud to have been able to work with this stunt team and to get to learn from them has been one of the most amazing things in my career.
You mentioned it like potentially like whether you could remember how to do it. In theory, I've always been curious, like if you were to go to a bar and someone were going to like try to pick a fight with you, would your mind snap back into like okay, in Kate, I did A to B to C to D. Is it like a muscle memory thing?
I mean, yeah, a little bit, although it's a bit more like a dance in a way. So, I don't know how lethal I really am in real life. I've learned how to make it look good on camera.
It looks very good on camera.
In practice, it's like, the jury's still out on that one.
Oh, well, I think anyone who sees this movie wouldn't try to start anything in a bar after that. Yeah. Miku, there's a great moment where usually your character has blood splash her face for the first time, and you had this very, very sort of visceral reaction to it. And I'm sort of curious for both of you guys, do you remember the first time that you had blood thrown on you for this movie? And I'm weird because I feel like that would kind of be awesome. I'm just sort of curious, like what that was like the first time.
It was awesome. It was my first day of shooting for Kate, my first day on set. So it was super cool. And they're like, we have this like blood splatter machine and we're just gonna splat it on you. I was like, okay. And I really wasn't expecting it. I was like, oh wow, yeah. And it was super fun. Yeah.
What this is a stupid question, but like what kind of force is behind that? Like does it kind of like push you back a little bit, or is it kind of
just like a lot of just a spritz of wetness just getting on my face?
What a hell of a first day. That is sort of trial by fire.
Very exciting.
And Barry, you were covered in it. I always think of like with actors covered in blood, like that scene from Arrested Development where Tobias has blue paint all over. And I just picture that there would just be like bloody. Yeah, exactly. I feel like they're just like bloody handprints all over the set.
Totally. I really like it though. I think the more kind of bloody and beat up I was, the better I felt, something about it. I really enjoyed that look a lot.
For sure. And Mary, as we wrap up, it honestly is incredible to watch what Kate would do to pull off this final job with just 24 hours left to live. So I was curious, in your career, what's the greatest lengths you've ever gone to, the most you've ever done to get a take right, or to make sure a shot looked good, or to ensure that your performance was like just right?
Oh gosh. I mean, I guess, I'm not a very technical actor in that way, like sort of thinking about what I'm going to do in advance. I just try to kind of go in there and just give it my all with whatever's happening. So I'd say maybe Kate is probably the most, there's several scenes in Kate where I just had to go in and I had to not worry about what I looked like or what I sounded like or how it seemed, like I was going in there just like wailing and screaming and flailing around. And it was really, really liberating. So probably Kate would be up there on that one.
Oh my God, I absolutely would love to see it. And honestly, Miku, I would love to see an entire second film dedicated to see like where your character goes from here, because I would follow her to the end of the earth. Guys, seriously, I love this movie. You guys absolutely crushed it. I know you have a very busy day today, so I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me. And thanks for being so badass.
Thank you.
All right, bye guys. Have a wonderful day.
Me too.
I fucking love this movie, man. I love this movie. So seriously, thank you for going all the way and going brutal with it, man. I love it. So I'm going to jump into it because I got a ton of questions for you.
Thank you.
I really want to start out talking about the moments when blood splashes up on the lens. And I'm sort of curious, as a storyteller, as a filmmaker, what's the line between, okay, that looks really cool, just leave it, versus like, okay, that's actually distracting, like we need someone to wipe off the lens?
It's every time it's the lens, it was purposeful. It was a moment where like you're trying to push the the immersion, you know, with the audience, and when you're trying to push this extra bit of like, oh, you know, so you have that kind of reaction. And so I think it happens twice in the film, I think, maybe 3 times. But it was every time it was a very specific moment, and it was never by accident, and it was never by like, holy shit, there's some stuff. It was always purposeful. Yeah.
Well, really, you can sort of plan like, okay, like the lens is close enough, so there's going to be some splash black.
Yeah.
That's, and it's a testament to like showing your power over your audience, because like, you're right, whenever it happens, you do sort of jerk back, and then you kind of like try to look around the blood, which I realized like, why am I doing that? You know, I kept wondering if you guys shot this out of chronological order, and if so, was it difficult to keep track of where Kate was in the progression of her poisoning?
Yeah, so we did shoot out of a chronological order, but Mary and I were so in sync with this that every time we were at the beginning of every scene, we were like, okay, at this point, she's like this. That's the moment she does this. That's the moment. That's what's happening in her head. And Mary and I had talked at length preparing with the role. And so we were always like really on the same page. But that was a conversation that was happening all the time in like where she was at that moment and how she was feeling inside. That was the biggest conversation that we have. Like, how does she feel inside? What's her body telling her?
And also, I would imagine physically too, like working with the makeup process to make sure that the makeup sort of matches kind of where she's at. You guys did an incredible job.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, and as we wrap up, you know, I really do love how much of the film is in Japanese, because realistically, that's the language that most of these characters would be speaking. I was wondering if that was a hard battle to make that happen, or was it always understood that this film would have the element of English subtitles to it?
It was always understood by me, and working with those great actors, I didn't want to butcher, you know, their performance. So it was always understood by me, and it was a conversation with Netflix, but I have to give it to them. They were like, you know what? They respected my wish to do this, and they went along with it, and they supported me. So I would say kudos to Netflix to do that, because that's not something that you know, it's something new for American audience, and I'm glad the American audience is going to embrace more and more that kind of stuff. And and I'm very proud of it, actually.
I always think back to I think it was Alfonso Cuarón's Oscar acceptance speech, where he says like every film is a foreign film to someone else. He said, when I grew up, Jaws was a foreign film. So I think, you know, like, don't look at these things as foreign films. Like, it's just the language they speak. They're giving me the rap. Really, hey man, I absolutely love this movie. Hopefully you can tell, but seriously, thank you. Congratulations on it. Hopefully we get to meet again soon.
Thank you, Jake. Thank you very much.
Take care.
I love your energy, man.
All right, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.